And you don't even have to laugh. The TV screen laughs for you. The proof is that, at least it holds for me, I hope I'm not a unique idiot, that after seeing a show like Cheers, TV serial, even if I don't laugh, the TV set laughs for me. At the end, I am relieved, as if I have laughed. Here we have emotions, an emotional discharge, but it doesn't happen psychological to me. It's kind of objectivized, but nonetheless it works. It's something the same, like canned laughter, this capitalist greed. So again, let's be precise here. Let's not play the easy moralistic psychological game of how we should change. No, the most we can do within these coordinates is to engage in charity, to give money for the poor and so on and so on. But this for me is an obscene solution. It's what I ironically called chocolate laxative. It exists as a product. I bought it in California myself. We all know that the association of chocolate is, of course, constipation. But there you can buy chocolate which works as a laxative. Like you know that the poison is the cure to itself. And this is the function of charity today, I claim. What do people like Bill Gates do? First you grab all money you can, 40, 50 billions, sorry, then you give half of it back and you are the greatest humanitarian in the history of mankind, and so on and so on. Charity is today, I claim, part of the logic of the system itself. It has a very specific function, the function of depoliticizing the problems. The idea is that through charity, capitalism can redeem itself, can be itself the medicine to the evil it causes. And again, then we get all these rhetorics like socialism doesn't work, let's all get together through charity, let's bring release to poor people starving in Africa, and so on and so on. I find this utterly disgusting, but again, a crucial ideological phenomenon.
Dr. Mark Faber is another investor whose monthly newsletter is called the Gloom, Boom and Doom Report. This is his take on our near future.
The experiment of the central banks and the fiscal packages that have been enacted by Western governments will bitterly fail, but it may first work for a while in the sense that if you have cracks in a building and you put white paint on it, it looks better for a while. The problem will be that the interest payments on the government debt will go up dramatically in the US. So you could end up with essentially a structure where 50% of tax revenues will eventually be used just to pay the interest on the government debt. At that time, the system breaks down, then you have to monetize. And then you go into hyperinflation. Hyperinflation usually is bad for the average household. The average household doesn't participate, his real income goes down, and then the end is that in order to distract the people from the problems, you go to war. Then people ask, where is the enemy? Well, for sure the Americans will find someone somewhere. That for sure. They can invent them somebody.
Again, my reactions to this line of thoughts are mixed. On the one hand, yes, I'm also a pessimist. I think that one of the possible consequences of the crisis is that new wars on terror, on whatever, will have to be reinvented to keep the economy going. On the other hand, again, I don't see an easy way out, because even if we will have really to pay half of our tax money for interest rates and so on, what was the alternative? I claim that a year ago, from the standpoint of the system, it had to be done what was done. Obama, by giving hundreds of billions of dollars and so on, didn't have a choice there. That's the global, if I use this old term, irrationality of capitalism. It's not that we could have done something different. Why? Because it's not even a matter of economic analysis. As everyone knows, capitalism today is a matter of everyday religion, in the sense of it's built on trust. And as Joseph Stiglitz put it in a wonderful way, he said that even if the theoretical foundations in economic sense, of economic science, of these financial measures, even if theoretically they are problematic, wrong, they may work. Because the point is not their objective value, the point is, will they succeed in bringing back some kind of a basic trust? That's how the system works. I think that one should never underestimate the infinite plasticity of capitalism. You know, capitalism thrives through crisis. You know that Maoist formula, from defeat to the final victory. Capitalism always regenerates itself. So I don't think that we should look for any point when things will finally collapse. This is too naive. Tensions will gradually grow, and we will see where this will push us. The only thing, this is why I remain a communist, there is one thing, the only really important thing from all this. The basic message is that we are approaching a series of problems. Economic, new apartheids, new poverty, new hunger, ecological problems, how to deal with biogenetics and so on, and that it's becoming more and more clear that neither the market nor the state, or combination of states, will do the job.
If you're right, Mr. Zizek, that our current problems, for instance our ecological troubles, cannot be solved within the parameters of capitalism, then what about this system?
This is probably a scene from China. And I think that China is the key, but not in the sense, will we control China and so on and so on. It is as if in today's China, all the inconsistencies of today's capitalism are exploding. Let's be frank. Till now, there was one big argument for capitalism, which is maybe capitalism needs 10, 20 years here and there of dictatorship, but sooner or later it brings a pressure for democracy. But I think that something new is now emerging in Asia and expanding all around the world gradually. What? My good friend Peter Sloterdijk recently wrote something wonderful. He wrote that he asked himself a question: to which person from our time will they maybe be building monuments 100 years from now in the future? His answer is Lee Kuan Yew, the president for long years of Singapore, who was the first to invent and very successfully practice what today we officially refer to in these poetic terms as capitalism with Asian values, and which really means, if we cut off the poetry, authoritarian capitalism. What if effectively something is emerging in today's China and Singapore and so on, which is a capitalism even more efficient, dynamic, productive in its own capitalist terms than our Western liberal capitalism, but a capitalism which no longer, as it were, naturally demands democracy, but works even better with an authoritarian political structure.
Where we are right now, the new Tavedin International Eco-City should be 150 square kilometers and will house about 500,000 to 1 million people in the long run. And just in 1 year, roads are paved, residential areas are built. The speed of the implementation, that is still surprising.
尊敬的各位领导、各位嘉宾、朋友们、亲爱的老师、同学们，大家上午好。以今天的奠基为标志，将全面开工建设，明年完成。师生们为此欢欣鼓舞，感慨万千。我们将不负众望，我们将为此做出无怨无悔的奉献。
the political structure in China with its one-party system. Indeed, it gives a unique way when the decision-making